Y'all know what time it is, man. We'd like to welcome y'all this lovely Tuesday afternoon for another episode of the Texans on 3 podcast show. I am your host, Frank Nitty, in the building. I know how I feel about my team, man. We don't play no games. And y'all already know, man. If y'all see me, y'all see this face, man, y'all already know, man, I got my guy Patton in the building, a.k.a. the streets, a.k.a. the mailman, a.k.a.
Activated.
Definitely activated. You know what I'm saying? And hold on right quick. My boy want to give a quick shout out right quick. What was the shout out you said you wanted to do?
Hey, man. For those that you're going to find out in real time, but Cal won't be here, so big shout out to him. My guy's real busy.
Big shout out, man.
You know what I'm saying? Also, another big, huge shout out to our actual fourth member, Dr. Payton, man. Not going to say what's going on in his life, but just major prayers to him and his loved ones, man.
Most definitely, my guy, man. Hope you're watching and in good spirits. I made him laugh earlier, man. I was so I said, man, that's a good thing right there. But man, yeah, we definitely our thoughts and our prayers and everything are with you, my brother. Hey, man, it's Tuesday, so y'all know we got a guest in the building, man. This guest here, I want to give a proper introduction. He he comes into the bull ring every now and then, and the last time he was in the bull ring, I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was Brandon under another what's the name? like under another profile, because he was super active. I'm talking about, man, and he was not only active, he was hitting on some great points. A lot of points that I really agreed on, man. And man, we was like, hey, we got to bring you on the show, man. So y'all know us, we are men of our word, what we say we do. So man, we want to bring on, and I want to make sure I got my applause button ready, but we want to bring up Mellow Mike.
H-Town.
Big H-Town, welcome, you know what I'm saying, to my guy. Man, like I said, the last time we did the show, which was last Friday, man, you came in and I'm talking about you had a lot of insight in the bull ring. And it was undeniable, man. We just liked your knowledge of the game and just felt like, man, we needed this is what this show is about. You know what I'm saying? We talk with fans who are knowledgeable about the game. We don't hate on the ones who just, that's casuals or whatever, but this was built for people who have been going through the pain since 2002. And you know what I'm saying? And that's what this is all about, man. So I want to give another applause, man. It's good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
We'd love to run a whole lot of things by you, man. As y'all can see the name of the show, are you confident in the squad? That's a question for us. That's a question for everybody that's watching this show right now. Also in the bull ring, if y'all got any questions or anything, make sure that y'all put them in the comments, and we will get to them as we roll on. But yeah, man, it's a lot of. Speaking of me, I'm confident. I'm confident, but I'm a little worried about something, y'all, and I'm gonna just say what it is. This year for me, like, we have to make it to the championship game, y'all. It's imperative, right? And hold on, I'm gonna give a bomb on that. It's imperative that we make it to the championship game, because I think we'll be the laughing stock, which we already might be, because I know people who hate on the Texans, one thing they love to just talk about is the fact that we haven't been through the division, past the division round. And, I try to put myself in their shoes today. This actually was today. And I thought about it before the show, and I said, man, if you're looking at us from another city or another team, they probably look at us like, for real, like, hey, how many times in the playoffs, honestly, have the Texans have just been division round darlings? Like, we literally, that's what we that's what we put out, and that's what we look like as a team. Like, we cannot get past this division around. And I know all these other teams and other cities, when they see us in that division around, they probably hoping and praying like, man, this might be the year Just like how we look at, well, I'm not gonna mess with the Dallas fans, but like we look at it like, yo, we gonna get past that this year, and I'm pretty sure other people want us to also. I think it's imperative, man, and I think this squad can do it, man. I really think they put a lot of things in place, but we got to be honest though, y'all. Like, we haven't seen this performance yet on the field, and this kind of gives me the feeling of last year a little bit, but just a little bit. I mean, we had a little bit familiarity with what was going on, but that line that they lined up last year that was supposed to be top 10, we hadn't seen those guys together like that, and so we was all like, yeah, they gonna be this and be that, and they got the shit kicked out of them. How do we go into this with super confidence, even though we know we have a new OC and we have a new offensive line? I'm gonna start with you on this, Mike. What you think?
Well, a lot of fans just aren't going to trust it until they see the finished product out there on the field. I mean, we've heard it was the biggest talking point last season. You know, D'Amico was taking bullets for this offensive line up there at the podium. Nick Caserio was doing it. We saw Bobby Slowick do it. So until the fans actually start seeing some productive play out of this offensive line, I think it's just, kind of going to be, wait and see with the offensive line. But as for Nick Caley, I mean, I'm going to tell you honestly, we're going through the hiring process and they had the candidates out there. I was kind of in the camp of Jeff Nixon from Syracuse as one of the candidates, just because he had the experience as a play caller. And I'm like, all right, Bobby Slowick didn't have experience as a play caller. Nick Caley doesn't have experience as a play caller. I want a guy with experience. And then they chose Nick Caley. And I'm like, all right, what's my ceiling with this? And had to start doing some research. And, then you come up with that research. You got 3 years under McVay. You got the time that he spent in New England with not only Bill Belichick, but Josh McDaniels. And the thing that I see with Nick Caley is that he can blend all of those things together. He said it in the offseason. It's not going to be a Patriots offense. It's not going to be a Rams offense. It's going to be an offense designed around the personnel of the Texans. And what really kind of nailed it on the head for me is his introductory press conference. He went up there, he gave his introductory press conference. He not only hit all the offensive issues on the head, but he also sat there and had competent football answers as to how he was going to go about fixing that. So with Nick Caley, I see kind of a Rams element with that running game, a blend of that, a little bit of inside zone, and then also some McDaniels elements with that passing game where we've got more depth at the wide receiver positions. We got different body types. We got guys that could go slot. We got two big guys that could go inside, outside. And it's just a lot of things that he could do, reminiscent of what the Rams did with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, those two bigger guys that they can move into the slot. And then you got youngster Jalen Noel, you got Christian Kirk, who those guys are slot receivers as well. And then you got Jaden Higgins, man, who has just been balling out in camp. And, you go 2 6'4" wide receivers on the perimeter.
Most definitely.
How do you stop that? Like, if CJ Stroud is throwing slants and you got 2 6'4" guys that get the inside leverage on the slant, he's got two options there. And the biggest knock on CJ was that he struggled throwing with consistency to wide receivers that had a smaller frame and a smaller catch radius. Whereas guys like Nico, his numbers were actually going up. So now you add another receiver with that same type of frame, that same type of catch radius. And it's just going to be one of those things that I'm kind of excited about with what could go on with this offense this season.
Man, that was a great answer. Patton, what do you, and I know we've gathered a lot of information throughout this off season. I know for a fact that neither one of us are probably looking at like how Bobby Slowick was his first year and Nick Caley his first year. Is it safe to say that you like have more confidence, Patton, in Nick Caley starting out his first year than how you probably felt about Bobby, even though Bobby kind of had a successful year? I mean, people wanted to hire him as a head coach. But are you more confident in Caley than you was in Bobby his first year?
I'm more interested in Caley than I am with Bobby. With Bobby, we knew exactly what we were getting. We all thought about the days of Kubiak, the zone blocking scheme. We all thought we were getting that. And that first year, because they played musical chairs with offensive line, and by them playing musical chairs, they got more production out of those guys than the second year. We got a group that's, for the most part, played together, but really didn't really gel together as far as training camp, off-season type activities. So now going into this year, this is year 3, new OC, the offensive line, whoever may be starting, the starting 5, we can guess and speculate all day who's going to be at what spot. But just to know that unit as a whole, they're already starting to gel, hanging around one another. You know what I'm saying? Like eating. Like when you're a lineman, it's so important, man, that y'all guys move together at the same time. Like you damn near become best friends, your brothers. I know what you're thinking before you think it. I can finish your sentence, you can finish my sentence. You know what I'm saying? Like we damn near like Siamese twins to a degree, if that makes any sense. But as far as the skill
man, what's up,
Brandon, what's going on? As far as the skill position, I heard Christian Kirk say there's a lot of motion pre-snap, which is something we didn't really have with Bobby. You've seen it here and there, but you really didn't have it. And knowing that in this offense, that's going to be a prominent part of it. Also knowing that CJ is going to have the opportunity to change plays and correct pass protection and things like that, which is also going to be a learning curve for him. He hasn't done that, I want to say, since Ohio State. So
he was doing it in Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
So why would they take that responsibility away from him?
Because within Bobby's offense, the center is supposed to be the smartest guy on the field. He's supposed to be able to dictate and know who's coming, who's blitzing, who's there. And our center last year was Juice and Jared Patterson. Not saying those guys are, slow or anything, but in that offense, the center has to dictate what's going on every single play. And that's a lot for a guy to be learning how to play center on the fly, also being able to diagnose what the defense is doing play by play, which is easier for your quarterback, which is we're going to see this year with CJ having more control of the offense once he gets to the ball. But I'm gonna say this though: whoever we roll out there week 1, and I'm gonna give it 5 weeks from week 1. Because I know we got a bye week, so I'm gonna say week from week 1 to week 7.
Week 6 for the bye.
Yeah, we got an early bye. Before that bye, and after that bye, we're gonna know how good these guys are up front. Don't buy into preseason because guys take plays off on preseason. I'm not saying we're going to take plays off, but you got guys on other teams that they're going to play extremely extra hard because they're trying to make a team or make someone else's team. So come week 1, let's say week 2, because last year they fooled us. We ran over the Colts. We thought we had the elite offensive line. So
I'm talking about we thought King and Green was about to have an all-pro season.
But let's say week 2, okay? Week 2. If they can be dominant in week 1 and in week 2, we might have a real offensive line on our hands. And I'm trusting Pop because all the guys that I've seen that's been interviewed, offensive linemen, they rave about how Pop is such.
Man, speak on that one. Definitely, the one you sent to the group about Patterson.
Yeah, like Patterson. So pretty much the video. Shout out to Stressings too, man.
Shout out Stressings. You know what time it is.
Oh, that's my brother, man. He was hinting on towards the end of the season how they started running the gap. It went from zone to gap, right? And it made so much sense for the guys that they had. Now running zone, I shared this last year that. To run zone, you need a certain type of lineman. And nobody on our line fits zone. Nobody. Like, nobody. You want a zone offense, your guard, your center and guards are smaller than usual. And your tackles have to be very, very agile. They can move laterally. You know what I'm saying? None of these guys have to be benching 450. Don't need that. All I got to do is put a hand on you and get you moving in the direction I want you to move in. That's all it requires. These guys that we had last year, it wasn't for them. These guys are primarily gap blocking line, all of them. Now, also what Patterson said, man, the way that Pop is like coaching these guys, get them coached up, show them different things, show them different techniques, like actually learning how to execute the block or execute blocks. That's one thing. It's You would think, is it hard? It's not hard to block somebody, get in front of them, hold them. No, it's different. It's a lot more to it. Your feet got to be moving. You got to have hand placement here inside the pads. Hand placement is everything. Because if you out here, you're holding. A lot of times people get caught, but
keep it inside the frame.
And you know who was a textbook blocker? Remember, I don't know if I told the guys before the show, y'all. I was like, man, you know, when you get into this dry part of the season, I've been watching old games, right? Man, I watched a play with CJ Fedorowicz on the block. And I forgot what game it was, but what he did, he blocked the dude like 20 yards downfield just by getting up on his pads. And I'm talking, he just rolled him right on down the field. And I was like, man, CJ Fedorowicz was actually pretty good, bro. Before for that, I mean, you know, and look, also in that game too, I seen him catch a pass, right? Get hit, boom. Bro, grabbed his head like, oh, I say, yeah, that was his thing. He just couldn't stay healthy, but textbook
stay healthy, but he was like George Kittle before Kittle.
Yeah, and I'm talking about was great. I think the reason I'm bringing him up too is because of Luke Lachey. He's from Iowa too, and man, I just see that, you know, our tight ends, they just, you know, they translate well to the NFL. And man, I just wish CJ could have did, but that block, when I saw it, and look, I'm telling you, if I find it, I'm gonna either tape it with my phone and send it to you, or I'm gonna send you the video. But it was textbook, bro. It was so pretty. I'm talking about, it was a straight up block, straight up, just marching dude down the field. And you wondering why dude just can't get off of him, but he just got him. He's just walking him on down the field, bro. And I'm like, it's like it was almost as if he tried to break off that block. He probably would have got took to the ground, right? Is that how they work? Like, he's literally just trying to keep his feet because the block is so good, right? So he pushing them back, and he's like, hey, I'm just going to ride this block on, because if he tries to muscle his way out of it, I think that's when you go, yeah, that's when you tasting that, you're going to taste that ground a little bit. But shout out Ninja Cow, man, in the building. Oh, yeah, everybody shouting out Mellow Mike, man. But back to what I was saying, man, I just think that, you know what I'm saying, with this line, and what you said, Patton, everything is sounding good. What we hearing from the players, we hearing that the coaching is good. We've already heard from Titus when he said that, you know, they already, you know, they hear that people think that they are not gonna be good or whatever, or underestimating them, and that's already putting a fire in them boys. If they being galvanized by that, hey, I think I'm willing to sign up for it, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because we went 10-7 last year with a horrible offensive line. And I say this all the time on the show. Man, if we could just be middle of the pack, we can win a championship with that. We just gotta be we middle of the pack is an improvement over the last 5 years for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be honest. But yeah, I definitely believe so, man. And what else would y'all say that gives you confidence about this team? I'm not going to exclude D'Amico. If it's D'Amico, then it's D'Amico. But what is something else about this team, Mellow Mike, that's giving you like a lot of confidence?
Well, obviously, that's going to be the defense, man. I mean, you've got almost like it's like an all Madden secondary back there. You got Lassiter and Stingley, who could pretty much lock down any wide receiver duo in the league.
Shout out PFF. They finally done put the graphic up there and saying they the best 2 cornerbacks in the league. But go ahead, Mike.
And then, you know, you've got Kalen Bullock, who had 5 interceptions last year. And now you bring in CJ Gardner-Johnson. And CJ is kind of like a throwback to the Legion of Boom, where they had the guy in there who he had to play, but you also had that mouthpiece on the field too.
Mm-hmm.
And CJ Gardner-Johnson, man, he's going to be the mouthpiece for that defense.
You talking about
Sherman and
yep. Especially that game against the Jets, where he's shouting out every time Revis gave up a catch, he's going.
Exactly. I definitely say that this secondary, right, including Petrie, we're gonna include Petrie in there too. This secondary, man, it is pretty much like the best in the league. And I feel confident in saying it because even when Jair Alexander went over to
No.
the Ravens, I still have no fear of that. You know, what is it, Marlon Humphrey? Marlon Humphrey is good. Don't get me wrong. I don't know when, but it's like, ain't he kind of like, to me, it seems like any minute now, bro gonna start to decline. Any minute, but he hasn't though. So that's why it's any minute now. You know what I'm saying? It's like bro, I'm telling you, and this might be the year. This might be the year where we like, damn, Marlon Humphrey, like they might move him to safety, but Marlon is good though. That's when I look at Marlon, and then when I look at they safety who we were supposed to have gotten. Y'all still upset about this?
Nah.
And you want to know why I'm not upset about that? Because dude rarely plays a whole season anyway. But he good though. But I don't regret us not getting him. But yeah, this secondary, man, is.
Hey, let me comment on that real quick, man. With Kyle Hamilton, looking at it, like knowing what we have now, like knowing that the team that was put together by D'Amico and Nick, you know, we use the slogan a D'Amico guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Hamilton doesn't fit that. But see, that was before we knew what we know now for as a D'Amico guy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And he don't fit that bill. I'm
No,
not saying he's a bad player, not saying he's horrible or trash. Like, no, he's a phenomenal player. Hell, I had him high on my draft board that year. But excuse me. I feel like over there, because see, Baltimore you have Marlon Humphrey. What's the other guy that is guy from Clemson? I'm gonna say Nate Clements, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very, very extraordinary cornerback. Like, he's one of those guys that's going to be talked about how Stingley's talked about.
Yeah.
If not started this year, definitely going to the next year.
So Nate Clemens?
Yeah, I think it's Nate Clemens.
No, Nate Wiggins.
Wiggins. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Wiggins is pretty good. You can't
cornerback from Clemson. Like he's damn good too. Now, the thing with Baltimore, man, what makes their defensive backfield such of a threat, I always tell guys, remember when we had J. Joe, Kareem, who were the safeties? I want to say maybe Daniel Manning and Quentin Demps.
I watched the game today where the safeties were, the corners was who you said, but the safeties were Swearinger and Lewis. And when Swearinger had to go out for a couple of plays, because I was like, where's Daniel Manning, right? Daniel Manning came off the bench. You know, I totally forgot that, bro. I never knew that Daniel Manning had to go to the bench for Swearinger. I forgot that one. But I totally forgot that. But yeah, that's what happened.
Let me land the plane. So, like, at that time, our front seven was so good that it held, like, it covered over the BS that we had going on in the back with the DBs. Because, you know, J. Joe was good. J. Joe was locked down for what it was worth. But Kareem Jackson's going to lead the defensive backs with tackles because you can always catch the ball on them. You know what I'm saying? But because we created so much pressure, it made the defensive backs like, oh, those guys are good. They ain't got to worry about them. And I feel like that's the same thing with Baltimore. Like, not saying they have bad DBs. Their DBs are good, but they have a very, very solid front seven that causes problems for everybody.
Yeah.
Mike Green's been making noise in training camp. He's that rookie from, what is it, Rutgers?
What's his position?
Defensive end, Mike Green.
Mike Green, yeah. No, he's from, where is he from?
He's from,
not from Rutgers.
Small school.
This is a small school. I want to say Marshall.
He's with the Ravens?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's with the Ravens.
Okay.
They tried to hype him up during the draft like he was like a generational pick because he had a lot of the good numbers, but he was at a small school.
He's at a small school, and there were some rumblings about some off-the-field issues that kind of caused the track stop to fall.
Mike Green. Texas Tangents, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Appreciate you, Texas Tangents. Hey, also something else. I know we kind of oh no, hold up. We were talking about the defense. Yeah, the defense is definitely, I think it's everybody like I know in Houston we love offense, but I think that, you know, since we got D'Amico as a coach, and it's funny, we've had so many defensive coaches, but maybe I'm speaking from my point of view, but I've always been like, wanted to see us being a high scoring offense because we've always kind of been like defense focused a little bit. But I think now, ever since the Bulls on parade, this is like the best defense that we've had on the Texans. I believe this defense is actually better than the Bull parade, but I'm saying as far as the team being just pulled by the defense, I believe that's like ever since Bulls on, and I don't know why we ever came up with a name for this defense, but
that's a big discussion that's going on right now.
Yeah, we had like I mean we've been I know I've been in some discussions where we've been trying to come up with a name for about as a fan base for like 3 years almost, and it's I can't think of it. I mean, what did we run it back? Do we run it back as Bulls on Parade too? Like y'all didn't like that. Y'all didn't like the box.
Nobody in the chat. Do not say that baby Legion of Boom that Landry Locker was pushing. Don't say that. That's generic.
That sounds stupid. That's stupid. Now, baby Legion of Boom.
The secondary could be called the Hornet's Nest because we got Sting back there, and the way that those guys fly around and the way that they hit you.
And it is swarm.
They talk about that kill zone underneath.
Hey, I never thought about that, Mike, until you just put that together. That Sting is on a defense that's about the swarm, and the swarm is about the bees. And yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I never put that together. Like, that's crazy. I gotta drop a bomb on that. I never like, ain't that crazy, Pat? Like, we be all into metaphors and all kind of. It's like I just never put that together. I appreciate that, Mike. Yeah, you're right. That would be a dope name for the secondary. Or if we just call them, if we are the swarm, right? What would the swarm? What would we call them? The hive? What we call them? The hive?
Nah, that's like Resident Evil.
The beehive? Now Beyonce gonna be mad then.
We get a bunch of extra fans for that, but no.
Y'all boys saying Clamp City.
Well, you've got
who would you call someone who is
Hunter? Will Anderson's the Terminator, and Hunter's the Machine. So we could call it, what was the second Terminator movie? The Judgment Day Defense.
Hey, Texas Tangent. I don't know what this means, what you just put up there, but I gotta run my thing right here, man.
What that mean, nigga?
No. Hey, that's what I run when I don't know what somebody meant by something. But honestly, what would you call someone who is making that? Almost sound like some pause right there, Texas. Should I pause that right there?
Yeah,
that's what that sounds like, huh? Who's making Elon's rockets explode? Hey, I don't know, Texas Tangent, but that definitely gets a big pause right there. Now, what do you say? Well paid. But now, yeah, I guess we're
cool.
He got enough money. You could be a supermodel making that rocket explode.
Hey, for real, man. But okay, something else that I wanted to bring to the show today. No, let's stay where we at first, and I'm gonna say that a little bit for the end. So we've talked about the defense. We've talked about we don't really pretty much have to go into the linebackers in the line unless y'all want to. We done covered them so many times that it's almost like you got to know it by heart now. But yeah, I think that the strong point of this defense, or the spearhead, so to speak, is this defense. Everything is going to run through this defense. And like I say, my dream scenario for the offense would be that we would be a run first offense, because the run first offense is the definition of toughness. You have to be a tough team in order to do that. And I think that when you have the finesse of an elite quarterback, yeah, I said elite, of an elite quarterback like CJ Stroud, I think that just makes it like unstoppable, because if they coming out there and this team can beat you up in the trenches, you know what I'm saying, then it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard when CJ is actually play action and people being wide open down the field. When you got I'm talking about, you have like I can't think of the word now, but you have these wide outs that are all above average. You know, we got potentially one of the best wide receivers in the league on our team, and Nico. You know what I'm saying? And then with what Higgins can bring, and what we talked about with Kirk and with Noel, like with a strong running game, man, those guys are gonna be running free. All of them can run routes. All these guys can run routes. So they're gonna just be running free. Just running free when when CJ turned his back for this play action, it's gonna be crazy, man. And most of the time he probably not because he's gonna be in shotgun. But hello, Brandon say the O-line, the Bulldozers. See, what we be the O-line. Look, if hey, that's dope though. I ain't gonna lie. And when you look at it, right, that's one of those things, bro, that like who else had a team where everybody was named something different? I think of the Washington Redskins back in the day.
It was the Hogs.
Yeah, they O-line had the Hogs. They had the different names for different squads on the team. But I ain't gonna lie, the Bulldozers is super dope. Hey,
they got prove that first
right there, man. Somebody might try to make that into a shirt.
They got to prove that though.
Get the O-line out there and with some tractors up on them, different types of tractors and stuff.
The O-line actually not have no nickname until they prove they deserve a nickname.
Exactly.
Point blank. Period.
You're right. The defense done proved that they need a nickname.
I'm really leaning towards what Mike said, man, with the Hornets Nest, bro.
Yeah,
like that shit sounds catchy as hell.
Yep, the Hornet's Nest or the nest. The Hornet's Nest, because you got to see what kind of nest it is, because you could be a bird's nest. But yeah, the Hornet's Nest. We said that's a sponsorship waiting to happen, Texas Tangents.
I'm trying to tell you.
When we come up with t-shirts that say Sac City, we just have like the exit that says Houston, and it has Sac City with the arrow pointing that way.
Oh, that's dope too, man. That's dope, man. That's almost deserving of a pause, but we're gonna let that one slide right there. Sac City. Nah, that's dope though. Sac City is pretty dope.
It's spun up at the old New York Sac Exchange from Gastineau and Dennis Bird.
Yeah, that's dope too. That's who was that? The Jets or the Giants?
The Jets.
Yeah, that was the Jets. You're right. Let me see, man. Is it like, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see. Let's go to the Bull Ring, man. Let's see what the Bull Ring got in here for us. Something to touch on. Y'all have any questions or anything? Because I'm gonna tell y'all, man, we are some of the most hardest working men in show business when it comes to this time around the football season, man. Because I promise you, especially y'all know we talk about everything. So much stuff that we'll be done talked about till exhaustion. So much and we have to really like dig in, because man, that's why we cannot wait. I'm telling you, every Texans content creator right now is chomping at the bit for training camp. I'm telling you, we cannot wait till training camp come, because right now,
gotta get the pads on.
Yeah, got to get those pants on, man, and we got to start seeing if this O-line can live up to what they're gonna be. I said this before, and I guess I can repeat this. We've never had an O-line like this, and what I mean by those big guys, those big mean guys like that. We tried to put something like that on the field last year, but Killer in the building, man. Killer say Walt's Nest is taken.
I said Hornet's Nest.
Hornet's Nest.
Hornet's Nest, Cal.
Man, that sounds like some Scotland Loch Ness.
Walt's Nest.
What are we drinking at that Walt's Nest?
But yeah, man. Hey, shout out Killer Cal, man. Hope everything is doing good, man, on that road.
Hey, I make a signature drink called Snake Bite.
Word.
It's very deadly.
What you put in it?
Claude, a lot of Claude, and about a shot of some Minute Maid fruit punch.
And that's called a what?
Snake Bite.
Because it's just a snake bite worth of, juice in there.
That's it. It's a little slither.
Hey, man.
But the way I make it though, man, and I stir it up, it looked like how can I say? Hold on,
since we got Mike on here, right? And we haven't asked this question to a guest in a while. So I guess let's run this question right here, right? We normally ask people when they come on the show.
Oh Lord.
Mike, what is your biggest Texans loss and your biggest Texans win? And you can go into depth on each one of them. Whichever one you want to start with first.
Biggest Texas loss for me. Kansas City, when Bill O'Brien choked that game away, we had that lead, and he choked that game away, and he forgot to run the damn football.
Yep.
I'm telling you, I got a hat in the bedroom that my brim is warm because I was throwing that hat so damn much. Bill O'Brien about made a nerve explode in my temple that day.
Jesus.
I mean, that for me, we had that game.
Can I say this though, Mike?
Had to do was run the ball. We had that game.
Can I say this, Mike? I just watched that game 2 days ago, and I'm gonna tell you something. I hadn't watched that game since the horrible day that it happened, right? So to go back and watch it, I've seen things that I didn't see and that I didn't quite get a chance to digest when I first seen it. And what it was is that game had some crazy I don't know what we would call supernatural things going on in that game, because the way that we went up, now us scoring that first touchdown, that was fair and square. We just caught him slipping to Kenny Stills.
Yep.
But all the other turnovers, all the Kansas City drops, all the Kansas City fumbles that was giving us a short field to be able to score, right? All of this stuff was happening for us, and it was miraculous. That's why everybody in the crowd was just stunned. But what's even more supernatural is how they got the lead back. Like, I couldn't even be mad, Mike, when I look back at the game, because that was spooky. Like, the way that what was his name, Carter, coughed that ball up and it went right into that player's hand and ended up running it right in for a touchdown. That was ridiculous. Like, the things that started happening to us in order to lose that game, that wasn't even under our control. I think that God just wanted to give people a good game that day, and we both saw, because Kansas City, and I'm gonna land with this. Kansas City actually came back and scored 28 points in 3 minutes and 51 seconds. That's how long it took for them to come back. You see what I'm saying? And it was shorter for us to take that. I think it took us about like 3-4 minutes to get that lead because of all the things that was happening, and we lost it that fast and that miraculously. It was crazy, man. But yeah, I feel you, Mike, man. I always tell people my worst one is when David Garrard threw that pass from the 50 and Glover Queen jumped in the air and tipped it right into the wide receiver from Jacksonville hand, and he just walked right on in. That's my worst. But what would you say, Mike, is your biggest win? The one that you would say that, man, I never forget this one here.
That's a tough one, because for me, it's like at the beginning, I've been with the Texans since 2002.
Yes, sir.
I've been a fan from the beginning, and David Carr was my guy. As much as people bang on him and stuff, I'm from Fresno, California. I still, to this day, am a Fresno State Bulldogs fan, so I knew he was going to be the number 1 overall pick.
Okay.
So, yeah, I would drop that bomb on David too, but no, it was just that.
No, we wanted David, man. I hate that they didn't pick David. It was like they thought the fan base wasn't going to like it. I'm like, are y'all crazy?
Derek.
Yeah, Derek, you're right.
Yep. So for me, it was like the 2002 opening day game against the Dallas Cowboys until T.J. Yates beat the Bengals, and we got that first playoff victory. For me, it's that first playoff victory now. Is J.J. Watt in that game? T.J. Yates had his, coming out party.
Shout out T.J. Watt's mama, who didn't watch none of that drive, that last drive to actually go in. Every time I watch that on the replay, it's just funny how his mama couldn't watch none of that. I'm talking about she was just with her head down the whole time. And she probably was one of them people who think like me, who feel like sometime, and I hate this. That's why I like the Texans to just win straight out good games, because I'm one of those superstitious people. All of us got one, right? Mine specifically, and if you're ever around me watching a game, you'll find this out. If the Texans are in a close game, for some reason, I feel like if I'm watching it, then they're gonna lose. Y'all don't understand how many times the Texans have been close in the game in the fourth quarter, and I literally either walk out of the room or I change the TV and they win the game. and it runs me hot at the same time because I never get to watch good football at the end. I got to watch the replay, but I feel like I helped them win. I be like, man, if they messing up, let me just turn off the TV or walk out of here. That's my my supernatural thing that I feel like helps them win. Do you have one, Patton?
No.
You don't have no superstition that you do before a game that you feel like gonna help the team win.
Mm-mm.
You don't have one, Mike? What?
Nah,
Hey, y'all
man.
in the bull ring, man. If
For
y'all
me,
have,
it's
if
just
y'all have a
like
superstition,
my wife just doesn't let me go out in public when the games are on because
Mhm.
I sound like John Gruden on the sideline back with the Raiders when they called him Chucky because my mouth is going off. It'd be like, I literally, I'll tell you this. The first football game that I actually went to was 2023. I went to Jacksonville because I live down here in Florida
Mhm.
and went to the Jaguars game. And we're sitting in the nosebleeds, and there's some Jaguars fans around. And
Mhm.
then we have everything starts happening. We get the Andrew Beck return for a touchdown on the kickoff. Then we got the Tank Dell with a double move, which was absolutely beautiful. Tank Dell to this day still has, like, he's up there with Marvin Harrison when it comes to that double move that he runs. It is
Yeah.
a thing of beauty.
Who else said
And
something about that? T.Y. Hilton. He said, yeah, like he'd never seen nobody do that other than him, and he was good at that.
yep. And then I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I'm yelling, Duval. These fans look at me and I got my CJ Stroud jersey on and they're like, oh, what the hell? And I'm just cutting it up. I'm like, yeah. And they're just like, by the end of the halftime, going into like a couple of minutes of the third quarter, we had the entire section to ourselves. There was not a Jaguars fan around.
Mm.
My wife just doesn't let me off the chain when I go out in public.
Okay, let's see. Brandon says this. Oh, Brandon got a loss. He say loss that got me was the Seahawks lost way back when, where we were gonna beat the Legion of Boom, and then Matt Sharp started to. Oh my goodness. Oh, Brandon, let me drop a bomb on that one. That one hurts too, and I'm gonna tell you why that one bothers me, Brandon. Because I still, if I had my other phone present right now, I will show you a picture, and the picture will be it's right when Fox was getting ready to start the game, and they were showing the Texans logo with the Seahawks logo, and it's had the Texans. What were we 3-1 at the time, and what's the name was either 4-0 or they were 3-0. I know we were 2-1, 2-1, and they were 3-0, right? And so I'm like, okay, this is going to be a good game. Not only is this going to be a good game, this is going to be a game that's going to give us like a like we're going to be able to stand on this game in the league and say, hey, we one of them teams now. And man, I promise you, bro, watching what didn't he run that touchdown back with one shoe on?
Mm-hmm.
You can see his sock flapping. Hey, what's up, man? We got that boy Big Sarge in the building. Hey, what's up, my guy? Hey, that run. When I see him run that touchdown back, Brandon, that's what that loss. That's definitely in my top 5 because I had built up so much to where we were like, because we were beating them. If you really think about it, and not only that, that's the game, Brandon. For real, a lot of people don't know, but that is the game that actually broke Matt Sharp. He was broke after that. He never was the same after that game. He threw a pick every game after that game.
He's still not the same now.
He threw a pick 6 in every last one of them games after that game, bro.
I couldn't shake it.
Hey, for real. Hey, what? Yeah, man. Sarge killer on the road right now, man. There's a killer on the road. Hey, y'all don't know about that. They probably just went over y'all here.
Got the doors going on there.
Hey, I knew somebody would catch it. I know somebody would catch it. But yeah, man, killer out there on that road, man. But he definitely will be back.
Time to get the Snoop Dogg remix.
Hey,
that's dope.
Hey, that is dope. I heard that. I checked it out. That is pretty dope. But hey, have you ever? I think you said yours one time before.
I just thought about one. This is the first game I ever went to was a Texans game.
Mm-hmm.
This was the Rams. We knock out Mark Boger. He gets knocked out the game, and Ryan Fitzpatrick, a rookie out of Harvard, comes in the game and lights our ass up. Like,
oh, you right, bro. What team was that?
The
Rams.
At that time, the
Rams.
St. Louis Rams.
Yeah, St. Louis Rams. You are absolutely right. I hated that game, bro. Like,
Dude, listen, I'm there hurting. I'm a kid. My heart was in my lap. That's the game that I remember. Dante Robinson said on the field. That's when he had on his shoes, "Pay me, Rick," and he literally gave us a touchdown play. And I was like, "Oh my god! Like, what is going on?" Normally, when the rookie quarterback comes into the game, as the team that's going against that rookie that's coming into the game, you feel like, "Oh, we got this. He don't know what he's doing. He gonna be throwing interceptions."
That's what I did when he had to come in the game. I was like, "Oh, we got this." And
Fitzpatrick lit our ass up. You hear me? Like, Jesus.
That's when I realized that the Texans were the Texans. Like, there was a while, y'all, for a long time that you could not pay me to believe that the Texans weren't a snake-bitten team. Not only the Texans, I thought Houston was just a snake-bitten, like, sports city, because other than those Rockets winning those championships, and this is before the Astros won the World Series, we would just get close and always fall. Close, but always fail. But now, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to bring some other sports into it. Shout out the Rockets. Shout out the Astros. Being that Houston sports is on. Oh, yeah, that KD, like, I ain't going to lie, y'all. Like, and I know this is the Texans on 3, but we're going to take it to the Rockets on 3 for just a few seconds. This definitely gives me confidence in our sports, over our Houston sports profile or portfolio, or as you want to say. We got a superstar team. We got a superstar NFL team. We have a superstar NBA team. There's this thing that we do in Houston a lot, right? And sometimes we are forced to do this. We tend to get excited about the old player once they come here after they done wore their ankles and knees out with a whole other organization. A la
Amar Green.
Not only Amon Green, but Charles Barkley, Pippen, all of these, like, and I just feel like KD coming here, I just feel different about that. I don't know, y'all. If maybe I'm drinking the same Kool-Aid again. I don't know, the grape with the lemon squeeze. I don't know if that's what it is, but I'm gonna just tell you that it's
lemon drop.
Yeah, I'm definitely confident in what KD you know what I'm saying, brings to the Rockets, because he may be bringing somebody else with him. We'll get on that on some other time, because this is about the Texans. Y'all know how
I just say this, man. If KD could stay somewhat healthy and you keep Amin Thompson in there, the Rockets gonna have a good chance.
Oh yeah, and I keep trying to tell Patton that, because he's saying we need a shooting guard. I'm like, man, hey, bump Amen over there.
Well, look what the Orlando Magic just gave up for their new shooting guard. They paid a ransom.
That's
Desmond Bain.
They
gave away like 4 first-round picks.
Whoa. See, I don't know if we even got that kind of action right now to be playing with. You said they gave up 5?
Mm-hmm. 5. Yeah, it was 5? And some players too, right?
KCP and another guy on an expiring contract.
Yeah. I had a buddy of mine ask me what I thought of it. I said, well, if they give it that much, you better be the second coming of Kobe or LeBron. That's a lot of draft capital.
Well, I'm going to say,
let me say this, and we can get back to the main thing. With NBA draft picks, it's night and day. You never know what you're going to get out of these kids coming out of school. And with the NIL now, same thing with college, with football. It works better for the kids in the NBA. I mean, in the college basketball, because they get to sit there and actually work on their game. Football is different. You're going to be at that school, wherever you are, for at least 3 years, at least. You can't come out until you're a junior. With basketball, once they start the one and done, because they had to stop the high school thing. But once they do the one and done, a lot of these guys don't develop until year 3. And then by then, either the fan base is either fed up with it or they're going to trade the player away. So it works better that way. But draft picks, it's always a hit or miss, man. Always. Some of the best players come out of the second rounds. So, but that's my take.
I got another question for y'all. this we can start off with you, Mellow Mike, on this one. What kind of when you look at D'Amico, this will be D'Amico's third year, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you look at D'Amico as a head coach, where would you put him in the pantheon of head coaches when you say, like, and we know his career is far from over, but from where he is right now, where would you put D'Amico? Would you put him up there with some of the greats as far as just his coaching prowess? Would you put him like right there in the middle? And what I would like you to, when you answer that question, I want you to give some examples of other coaches that's wherever you would put D'Amico at, and so we can see if they all have anything that's in common. But where would you put D'Amico?
Okay, so with D'Amico, we're going defensive-minded coaches here for me, and it's hard to rank him amongst the greatest of all time because he's only been doing this. This is going to be his third year. So if I were to come out here and say that D'Amico Ryans with this defense could be up there with Mike Dick, I would be filleted and drug in the streets of Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be blasphemy right there, right? If I sit there and said that he was up there with those Brian Billicks and 2000 Ravens defenses, I'm still catching flack for it.
Yeah.
Right now, I would say we have to keep it within the rankings of the defensive coaches in the league. I would say I think he's better than Mike Tomlin right now for sure.
Most definitely. And look, and I used to put Mike Tomlin up there. You're right. Yeah. That's a good point. Good point right there. I definitely.
But like Tomlin, he is just what's holding him in check. And it's kind of different, but it's the offensive side of the ball. It was Bobby Slowick in 23 that was holding that offense back. With Mike Tomlin, it's not so much an offensive thing that's holding him back. It is the Steelers' culture. The Steelers are still playing a throwback brand of football. They still want to play smash mouth run, hard-hitting defense, and they don't evolve the offense into a modern NFL offense. I mean, the closest thing they had to it was when they had Ben Roethlisberger and the Killer Bees.
And you're right. You're absolutely right. And we've talked about that on this show before on how the fan bases throughout the decades actually like dictate what type of team that they put on the field. Like the team actually listens to the vibe of the city and the years, the culture. There you go. The word I'm looking for is culture. The culture.
I'll be back in a second.
The culture will actually it would pick what type of team needs to be on that field. You know what I'm saying? Like, Will Anderson is a Houston Texan is because we always have to have a hell of a right end or a left end. That's just how it is. The Texans have to have that. Like if we don't have that, it's almost like then this is not a Texans football team. The Texans have and being that Dom Capers was our first coach, and I think I may be breaking this down as we actually saying it, but being that Dom Capers was our first coach who was defensive minded like that, I think that made our fan base defensive minded. So we look for that defense when we go sit down. So I can imagine in Pittsburgh that they look for a certain way of football being played, and if it's not being played like that, the not only the organization but the fans are like, hey, what's going on? Why Mike ain't running the ball, man? We don't do this spread offense type of stuff that y'all doing. What the hell is he out there doing? They be calling for his head or whatever. But yeah,
Pittsburgh's only had 3 coaches in their entire time. It's been Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin.
Ain't that crazy?
Coaches.
Ain't that when you think about that? That's actually crazy. How many coaches? And I think if it wasn't for us tanking those last few years, we wouldn't have had Lovie Smith and Cully that fast as we had.
Those were stopgap coaches.
Yeah, those were stopgaps. But so what do y'all think? Hold on. So that makes D'Amico our what?
If you're including Wade Phillips and Romeo Crennel as interims,
yeah.
I mean, we've had there's Capers, there's Kubiak, there's O'Brien. There's Wade Phillips in there as an interim. There's Romeo Crennel as an interim. Then you've got, what's that guy's name from Baltimore that we got?
Cully.
And
then Lovie Smith.
And D'Amico. So that would make 8.
Our 8. And if you take those 2 other guys out, that would make him our official 6, I guess. Okay. So right now, I'm going to tell you, I think that D'Amico, as far as any other defensive coach in this league right now, I would have to put him up there with who was the guy that kicked our ass for the Vikings last year? Brian what?
Brian Flores.
Yeah, Brian Flores is one of those coaches that I kind of put on the level with D'Amico. They even though he was a head coach over there in Miami, he's not now. But when he was
They
over
did him
there,
dirty.
that defense was kicking ass. He goes to the Vikings, that defense run us out of the building. I think that D'Amico's kind of they on the same level, but I think that D'Amico is gonna win that championship before any one of those coaches that we just named, being that Tomlin. I mean, well, Tomlin already won, but he's gonna win another one because I don't see Tomlin winning another one. I don't know if y'all do, but I don't see Tomlin winning another one. I see Tomlin being there probably about 2 more years, and if they don't win a championship, they're gonna think that they need to change the coach. That's because that's what the coach is gonna say. So I don't see him being there that much longer. But I definitely see him winning one before Brian Flores because I don't see him getting a head coaching job anytime soon. He might have to work as a defensive coordinator for a few more years.
Another year like he did last year, he could be up there.
Yeah, it would be they would have to do it then because it's like, hey, y'all actually looking crazy by not hiring this man. You'll be so I definitely think that, but I think that was a cool question because I feel like D'Amico is he's on the rise and he's one of those coaches that so far he's been a head coach, right? He can honestly say he's been in the playoffs every year. He has not had a losing season as a head coach yet. You know what I'm saying? So that's another good thing too.
2 years, 10-7.
So how many coaches can say that both years I've been in the league as starting, I've been in the playoffs 2 times. My whole career, I'm just basically been in the playoffs, and I see us going to the playoffs again this year. And I want to talk on this before we get up out of here. The division. The division is shaping up. We starting to see. I heard some rumors today that Daniel Jones may be QB1 for the Colts. Does that startle y'all?
Broke his clavicle.
Does that startle y'all in any kind of way? They said that even though it was an open competition, they trying to say he won it, but I guess that's just to make the crowd feel good. But I believe I'm right with what you saying, Mike. He broke his clavicle. Yeah, you pretty much got to give it to the next guy who's done started over such and such many games.
Yo,
he said, "Hold on, I want to speak up right quick." No, you can go on, Patton. I just wanted to put what AD said. He says the next head coach of the Steelers, probably.
That'll be on
par. Linebackers coach for him.
He was I was just about to say that he was there for the linebacking coach, and from there went to Minnesota. And what you gonna say, Pat?
As far as the NFL right now, D'Amico is the best defensive head coach.
What you think makes him that? Like, does he have that? Like most of these defensive coaches we used to see, they had something about them. It was something that made them good. What is it knack about Nico? What you think, Pat, that makes like D'Amico good?
Well, you give him a little bit of anything, and he makes the best out of it. We've seen this since he's been here with the rotation of the defensive line. You got your guy in Will Anderson. You know, you ain't got Danielle Hunter, and he still hasn't found his guy on the inside yet. It's always rotational. He gets the most out of these guys. But his niche is the front seven. He gets the most out of everybody in that front seven. So it makes our D, and we have elite DBs, so they're already doing their job. So by the front seven doing what they do, it all comes together. And I'm gonna give you an example. Lovie Smith, he was already here, but when Lovie was in Chicago, that defense was like very, very scary to go against.
Yeah,
very scary.
Ledger and Briggs.
Yeah. Now, compare and contrast those teams. We got in common elite defense. We don't have an Earl Lacker or Lance Briggs, but we do have a Alziz and whatever he decides to play in Harris County and Henry T.
So would you say this, Patton, that like D'Amico just as a whole, I'm talking about every level of his defense from the D-line to the linebackers to the secondary works as a whole, or do you feel like he has a specialty in his defense? Because
I mean, his specialty is he's a linebacker whisperer.
But how is it that his secondaries are always so good though?
I just told you, if the front seven is doing what they're supposed to do, we can be back there in the goddamn secondary and we make some plays. It's defense is it's integral, man. Like if your front seven is bad, your DBs, if they're not good, they're gonna get torched. If your front seven is good, the DBs can be mid. And they're gonna look like all pros back there.
You're right.
Unfortunately for us, our front seven is good, and we even got a better secondary. Like I go out on a limb and say we have.
This is why we should win the championship.
Yeah, I personally say we got the best secondary in the league right now, and that was before
the best and youngest in the league.
Right adding,
we're gonna be good for a long time.
We got to win now.
What do you think about this though, Mellow Mike? We always talk about we talked about it before about losing what's the name? Losing losing Kamari Lassiter in like 4 years from now. What do you think that's possible?
Hell yeah.
It's going to be very difficult for the Texans to be able to pay both Stingley and Lassiter. Like historically speaking, teams just aren't able to financially make that wiggle room for extended periods of time. Mm-hmm. The Jets, when they had Darrelle Revis and Antonio Cromartie, they brought Cromartie in, but they still had Revis early off in his career on that rookie contract before he got paid. So it's just been one of those things. Like it's going to be very difficult.
Cromartie ended up with the Chargers.
Yep. Well, Cromartie was with the Chargers and he went.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, when he left the Jets, where did he go?
I think he went to Baltimore.
You might be right. Mike. But yeah, man, I just think that when you look at it from that standpoint, like it is going to be kind of hard to keep Kamari, and I love to bring that up and not to make us be like, oh man, it's just that I want us to make sure that you watching every snap and enjoy what's going on between these two cornerbacks, because what they both are special. I mean, Kamari, like it's crazy on how Kamari came in and just like it totally exempt. It's dang, I can't think of the word, y'all. Forgive me. I don't want to say the wrong word because somebody gonna make fun of me, but that's why I always hesitate to pronounce it wrong.
Well, Kamari came in there and he was just like a lockdown corner from like he took a little bit to get going, but he became a lockdown corner as that season progressed.
And he's like a dog. Like I'm like almost like he's like, and now I see why Stingley would say the things that he said. Like I thought Stingley was just saying a lot of things just to big up his teammate, but Stingley was like that's the one. Like Kamari's the one. Like I know y'all looking at me, but Kamari, and it's like for Sting to say that, I'm like, Sting, you the truth. You are all pro. You are the epitome of what this cornerback position is. And for you to say that about Kamari, and then when you look at Kamari numbers at the end of the year, it definitely proved that. I love my favorite play. My favorite
play basically Sting at second and Kamari at third, and the lowest completion percentages.
Yeah, my favorite play that Kamari did was against the Chargers. When it looked like he was beat on his play, it's like he tried to jam and throw because he was playing trail technique, but he was still able to bump the receiver enough to where it threw him off his route, and then he was still able to recover and get up under the ball and pick it off.
Yep,
that was amazing because with that type of ability right there, and most of the time, most cornerbacks will give up on a play like that, and it's mostly thrown over their head. Kamari made that play was more amazing than seeing Stingley make that pick, the one that he made later on in the game. Kamari's just a dog.
Well, I don't know about that, man. I mean, Sting came from like halfway across the field. There is very few cornerbacks in this league that could cover the amount of ground and that absolutely have the amount of ball skills that Derek Stingley has.
You know who I
that,
would compare him to? Talib. Talib had that kind of skill.
Talib was more like Kamari, though. Talib was physical. He liked to play a bump and run type.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking at comparing Sting to somebody, Sting is going to be more like your Darrell Revises, your Richard Shermans, those type of lockdown corners. Kamari is the guy that's going to get physical. He's going to jam you up at the line. That's why he's effective when they move him inside to the slot, because he could jam a slot receiver and keep them from getting off.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. One thing we got to really acknowledge with this Texans team is what makes this defense really, really good is DeMeco Ryans has some of the best defensive coaches, and you see how these young players are developing. There's a lot going on there. You got Matt Burke and Rod Wright on that defensive line. You got DeMeco and Billy Davis with the linebacking core. You got Dino Basso and Stephen Adoje, who work with the secondary. Those guys, if we get the offense to where they can develop guys the way that defense is, it's over for the league.
And you know what?
Absolutely over.
You know what, Mike? That is a good point. That's a good point, Mike. I'm talking about that's dope. Because we didn't look at it, we never discussed that on this show. As far as the coaches, like, when DeMeco put together his staff, it didn't, to me, especially, it didn't sound like just this who's who of coaching staff is. What a coaching staff was. But I know one thing that players and coaches in the league know more about the inner workings and inner coaches in the league more than I knew. So I trusted DeMeco, but I'm not going to lie. That's a good point that you made, Mike, because those coaches is really what's making things work. Just like DeMeco was once a linebackers coach, and he was making that defense work in San Francisco all the way till he became the head of the defense. Then that's the same thing you have to say for those coaches. On the offensive side and on the defensive side. I mean, in the line, to me, when they got Frank Oakham, I think they got a little bit more strong in the coaching department when it came to the line, because Frank Oakham used to actually play for us. And not only that, he's an assistant. Yeah, he's an assistant to the guy that's actually playing, and that guy's pretty good as a line coach. So I just think that, man, we are formulating the best things that we need for this team to be successful. And I know, like me, if y'all anything like me, you cannot wait until training camp. We're going to find out so much about training camp. Next show, I can tell y'all right now, we're going to be talking about who the Texans can probably bring in. It's like we'd have to start paying attention to the other teams, and when players on certain teams where they have so many good players, they may have to release a good player, and Texans are looking to pick up other guys in that way too. So it's gonna be dope, man. It's gonna be dope. Hold on, what did Ninja Cow say? Why did you guys let Larry Tunsil go? Okay, I'm gonna answer this one. I guess this will be our last question right here, Ninja Cow. I'm gonna let everybody get a piece of this one. I'm gonna say first and foremost, if you ask me why we let Laramie Thompson go, it's because you can have an offensive line that has the best left tackle in the league, and I know a lot of people would take that and run with it. You know what I'm saying? But I'd rather have a whole full line of dogs, everybody a dog, and I don't care if they not. Let's just say let's use numbers, right? I'd rather have a whole lot of 7s than to have 110 and a bunch of 6s or a bunch of 5s. You get what I'm saying? That's not I'd rather even it out. Give me 7s all the way across the board. I'd rather run it like that, because at least then those 7s are lockstep with each other and they running. Laramie Tunsil was one of those guys, man, where he was living what you call he was living in football heaven. And I'm gonna tell y'all what I mean by that. There's a culture in the football locker room, right? Where and I've never been in a football locker room, but I can tell you this much about a locker room is that when those guys are in there together and they all galvanize together like that, they get to a point where the veterans and the good players is supposed to get some kind of extra upper echelon treatment. This is what they work for. This is what they, it's some kind of way when you get up there and you get that big contract and you big dog, the whole rest of the team is treating you like that. Hey, what's up, big dog? And this and that. You become what everybody else wants to be. You are the goal. You the goal. Hey man, I want to play. I want to work hard every day, get so good. They give me this big contract. I just walk in. I don't even got to come to practice. I'm just the man. You know what I'm saying? That is a culture in the NFL where players like to try to get to. That's old school to me, though. I don't think that that's the way that the league should be ran, and it's showing you that. We see that all the time, man. These new young kids come in, it's new different ways of doing things. I think that old school way of being the man, I want to, especially on the O-line. I'm not going to show up to practice. I'm just going to show y'all. Because, see, this is how it used to be back in the day. I'm going to just hit the field. I'm going to show you how good I am, and nobody can shut me down or nobody can get on get past me. And what can you say? Man, I can go sit back. I don't even have to come here do OTAs. I don't have to do none of that. See, that's what Laramie Tunsil, and so he made other linemen look up to do the same thing. They want to get to that same position too. I guess I do want to get to a point where I ain't got to come to the meetings too. That you don't never want to have that, that mind frame with your O-line. You want to be able to say, hey, we are all the same. We're going to all show up. Do you not know how good that O-line would have been if Laramie Tunsil would have showed up to OTAs every practice all the time? You know what I'm saying?
He might have learned the snap count. I mean, realistically, if you take this into consideration, bro, all right, Laramie Tunsil's bowl starts last year. If you put that in perspective, Trent Williams hasn't had that many in 7 years.
That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. And that is a byproduct of what you would call stat padding, because he blamed two separate centers for his false starts, and he was the only one moving on the line. So the other lineman knew the snap count. He was the one that was complaining about the center. Mm-hmm. He was stat padding to protect his PFF rankings. And then also, when you go and look at it, there's this PFF perception that Laramie Tunsil is an elite offensive tackle. No, he is not an elite offensive tackle. He is an elite pass protector. Being an elite offensive tackle means you combine both elements of the game. At any given time, with Laramie Tunsil's career, there is anywhere between 12 to 14 offensive linemen who were better run blockers than Laramie Tunsil here in Houston. And then also into consideration, Laramie Tunsil here in Houston for 6 years, 0 All-Pros. All-Pro means that you are at least one of the 4 best offensive tackles in the NFL. And we made him the best paid offensive tackle in the NFL twice. And he could not even get a second-team All-Pro. Mm-hmm. It was just the matter that Tunsil's contract was expiring, and there was going to be no value gotten back for him next year if we held on to him this year. Those draft picks allowed the Texans to be able to make some moves to have the freedom to be able to bring in some of these draft picks that they brought in. And then also, it was also about so much as Tunsil was the big dog in the coach, in the locker room and everything like that, but it was a bad example because as a leader, you have to be there. It's like military mentality. Same blood, same mud. You're in there, you're with your guys, you're bringing that community together. You're in there doing what Trent Brown is doing right now with the young offensive tackles. He's not able to practice, but he's out there and he's grabbing them and says, hey, come here, young buck. Let me show you something. This is what you're doing wrong. This is what you got to do. They needed that mentorship. And here's where it's getting, the mentality is starting to change in that offensive line room. Titus Howard spoke to it. He said that Cole Popovich said that our mental mindset is going to be, we take no shit. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be this offensive line. When it comes to run blocking, it's a mentality and a mindset. You have to want to go out there and dominate. You want to impose your will. And for them, if they could get that mindset, and it's not everybody can flip that switch and just go out there and say, you know what? My joy in life is to take the guy across from me and put him flat on his back and have him looking at the lights at the stadium. Mm-hmm. That's an old school mentality. If you want to talk old school, you got to go back to like 1976 Raiders offensive line. You've got Jim Otto in the middle, Eugene Upshaw, Art Shell. those guys were as mean and nasty as it got. And they had an equipment coach who would sit there and knock up casts for them that slipped on. So after the game started, they slipped on the cast, put the pads over them, and they went out there and they would hit people in the mouth. John Madden, greatest coach in the game, but people don't realize that John Madden also used tricks like that to get to where he got. He knew the tricks and how to sit there and do those holes, just like Bill Belichick knew the loopholes, how to get there. With this Texans, the defense is going to have to do this one thing. It's going to be exactly what Azeez Al-Shaair said last year after his suspension. Y'all want me to be the villain? Okay, I'm fine with that. I'll be the villain. The NFL does not want this Texans defense showing out like it does because it's going against what they are trying not to have defenses do. They don't like defenses hitting like this. They don't like the physicality of this. This is what they're trying to get away from. And the Texans now have a target on their back because of that. So the Texans just got to go out there and say, you know what? You want to make me the bad guy? Make me the bad guy. Go out there, hit him in the mouth, take your fines. Let Callahan go ahead and pay those fines for them. On that offensive line, go out there, competition.
I think Cal is that G. I think Cal tell him at the beginning of the season, look, I'm telling y'all right now, any fine that comes y'all way, just send it to the office. I got that. Don't even worry about it. I need you guys playing like how you play. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we're gonna shut down with you, Patton, man. What you want to add to it?
I remember I seen Larry Matonsil at the stop sign, and he just took off driving. We was in line one day at HEB when it's time to go. We just took out. He don't know how to stand still. He don't know when to go. He don't know when not to go. I don't know what it is, but he is the false start king.
Yeah, I know what it was. When I found out about what Larry Tunsil was trying, like they say that he wasn't as good as people thought he was. He had this way of he had this good footwork to where if he jumped this snap count just a little bit, that he cheated a little bit just to help him be able to, it's like a backwards kind of rock, like he would rock himself back into his stance. And in doing that, it would make him false start because you have to, if you're going to rock and hit something in order to jump back, you damn near moving too far to begin with so you jumping back on time. You see, as a lineman, you're supposed to be jumping back on time. If y'all go watch some of his games, you will see that bro had this technique that he was able to get away with for a long time. It's what got him into the league.
He's off the line.
Yeah, it was able to get him into the league. And so when he got into the league, they started kind of catching a little bit what he was doing. But I want to end with this right here, man. Number one, and let me say this first. Tunsil was on the team longer than I thought he was too. Like I actually thought Tunsil was only with us maybe like 4 or 5 years. It was actually longer than that. I think it was 6 or 7. But anyway, first and foremost, let me give an applause. Want to give an applause to you, Mike, man. Appreciate you coming on the show. This was fun, man. Most definitely, I can tell you right now, just from the way this show was, that I know that we are going to have you back if you're willing to come back.
Absolutely.
You're very knowledgeable on the game, man. You can hear your passion and your responses and everything, and we really appreciate that. You definitely somebody I could just kick back with and watch a game with, man, and we probably have a ball just speaking on all the different things that's going on and the history lessons and all of that stuff, man. And definitely appreciate you. You came across on the show just like how you came across in the bull ring. Like I say, very knowledgeable on the sport, man. And like I say, we love your passion. Did you say you was actually you say you were calling out of, I mean, you in Florida right now?
Yeah, I live in Florida right now.
Okay, so you out there with VT.
I lived in San Antonio, Northwest side for many years before
you met VT while you was out there?
Was that?
You met VT while you been out there?
I haven't seen VT, man. I've been trying to get a hold of him and stuff like that. And
yeah, he's out there in Florida. I heard he's like, when I found out he was such a big Texas fan from Florida, I was like, oh, okay.
I've seen him on Twitter, but I'm not verified on Twitter yet, so I can't send no messages yet.
Oh, okay. I don't even know if he's still doing this football thing anyway. I see him doing a lot of politics, but other
He's
than
doing
that, though,
politics, but yeah, it's like I seen the show split. It's like Leo and Josh are doing their own thing right now, and BT's just kind of doing his thing.
yeah, they'd kind of revamped into some other things. Hopefully that, you never know how things will work out. But most definitely, man, like I say, we definitely thank you for coming on. Patton, man, you already know what it is. Oh, hold on. Let me throw on some music right quick so I can do this. All right, here we go. Let me go to the bull ring and let me give y'all an applause. I definitely want to give a shout out to everybody who participated in the bull ring today. We got Brandon, as always, man. Shout out Ninja Cow, man. Appreciate you. Texas Tangent, man. Always appreciate you. T Jones, you already know, man. Couldn't do it without you. We got Big B. I'm pretty sure it's just Big B 4480, man. Appreciate you, my guy, all the time. Killer Cal, man. Appreciate you. Shout out to Doc. Shout out Big Sarge, man. Appreciate you in the bull ring, man. Shout out AD, man. Y'all already know, man. That's the homie. Let me make sure I got everybody. I think that's it, man. We got everybody. Let me give y'all a hand. And like I said, Mike, man, we thank you. And you know what I'm saying? Whenever you free and able to come on, man, give us a heads up, and we will definitely do that. I want to make a quick apology right quick because, we win at the end of the day. I've been having a lot on my plate lately, but I do want to say this. After this show, Patton, you need to hit up Sarge and let him know what day is cool for us to come over there and to do the thing with him, because I know we probably like a week behind. I know he said as soon as we got time to do it, but I'm definitely looking forward to doing that, man. So most definitely get at Sarge so we can set that up to go do the happy hour with him, because like he said, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, and we'll make that do what it do, man. But other than that though, y'all, man, we appreciate y'all. I think we had 40 people in here today, man. We appreciate y'all, and y'all were constant. Y'all stayed with us the whole show. We appreciate that. And like again, man, I want to give a shout out to Mike. Everybody out there in the crowd, y'all give us a hand clap to Mike, man. Mike did this thing, man. And if y'all ever come on the show, man, if we ever had y'all to come on the show, man, let Mike be the example, man. Y'all come on here, man, and y'all be knowledgeable about what y'all talking about, man. And we're going to always have a good time, man, because that's what we do here on Texas.
You can the Young Bucks out.
Hey, you know what I'm talking about? But other than that, though, man, y'all, we will see y'all, man, in this hour and 22 minutes. Hey, that was fast. That was a quick hour and 22 minutes. But either way, man, y'all know we love y'all's Texas on 3. Houston, Texas, man. We will see y'all.
Hi, guys.
Friday in the building. Let's go.